When you're looking for fall time useful plants, look for something like this. You can see it's kind of red now because the blueberry plants have turned red, but this is a patch of muskeg. Not a very big one, but it's going to have most of what we harvest in the fall. And that would be blueberries, crowberries, lingonberries, tundra tea, and maybe some bog cranberries if we're lucky. So on a muskeg, you have this community of plants that is made up of, you might have these little black spruce. You also have these guys, which is Labrador tea, also known as tundra tea. Very minty, sprucey tasting stuff. You have these kind of waxy, bright green leaves with these red berries. That is called lowbush cranberry, popularly also known as lingonberry. These ones are not quite ready. You're supposed to pick them after a frost. As you are with these. These are crowberries, commonly known as blackberries. You see they're on some of these as well. They grow on these little kind of evergreen shoots. And they all kind of grow around this kind of sphagnum moss base. And you'll also find, if you're lucky, in fall time you'll find some leftover blueberries. A little shriveled from summer, but you know what? They're still good. There's some more lingonberries. And some more lingonberries, or lowbush cranberries if you will. Some more crowberries. So they all kind of grow together as a community. And the sphagnum moss obviously was very popular wound dressing for a very long time, especially in World War I, and also commonly used as toilet paper, or traditionally in many Alaska Native communities it was used for stuffing diapers because it was good stuff for that. Hey, another blueberry. Alright, so I'm just going to keep on getting my leftover shrunken blueberries because you know what? They're still good. And I'm not going to complain about getting blueberries this late in the year. But you can see that, if you just keep your eyes open and look, you just find these berries all over the place. And they kind of all grow in the same place on muskeg. Muskeg gets a bad rap because it is bog. But just because you can't build on it, at least not easily, but doesn't mean you can't use it. Doesn't mean it's not producing all these useful medicinal and edible plants. Now tundra tea, which is all over the place. Where's some more tundra tea? There's some, but it's very abundant here on this mound. This stuff actually is technically a mild narcotic. So it can have some of the same effects as like an opiate type of thing, but only in huge amounts. It's kind of like the equivalent of people that go to South America, they might drink coca tea, made from the same plant that cocaine is made out of, but when you just drink it in tea form and it's not been refined and all that stuff, it's really not the same thing. So tundra tea is a very popular drink in a lot of places because it has medicinal properties. And when you pick your lowbush cranberries, you want them to be this deep dark red. The deeper and darker the better. I tend to call them lingonberries personally because there are several other kinds of cranberries that grow in Alaska. There's highbush cranberry and bog cranberry. And so I just tend to call these ones lingonberry to, you can just kind of grab a clump and be like, bam. I just call them lingonberry just to avoid confusion, because that is another officially accepted name. And like I said, there's already a bunch of other cranberries that grow in Alaska. So here we have a few examples of bog cranberries. They look different from lingonberries if you look at the base. They have kind of a more translucent color. And they tend to grow literally sitting directly on top of sphagnum moss. Sorry, I'm just eating one right now. They tend to grow directly on top of the sphagnum moss. And there's another little guy. and like in contact with it. So they grow on these tiny little vines. And so this is a bog cranberry. And you'll see, if I can find a lingonberry very nearby. Well, I found a blueberry very nearby. Come here, blueberry. Alright, lingonberry. So if you look at a lingonberry, you can see they grow with these kind of green waxy things. And they have this definite like kind of opening in one end that's kind of looks like a rose. I don't know. It seems like it's out of focus. Whoa, whoa. Anyway, so that's the difference between, sorry, eat another berry, between lowbush cranberries and bog cranberries. So these, even though they're touching the moss, those are lowbush or lingonberries. Back to these guys, they are bog cranberries. So here's a nice example of lingonberries that grow around the base of a mature spruce tree. So a lot of times you see these older, more mature trees, and they've got all this sphagnum moss at the base. And all of these are lowbush cranberry or lingonberry plants. And if you look here, you've got a few berries. It's not the best example of berry fruitage, but good example of where you might find them on a better year for lingonberries. And here are some more lingonberries around the base of a mature tree. This time it's a mature birch, but you can see the red berries in there. But these plants, these berry plants that are growing on higher, drier ground, aren't doing so well this year because we had such a dry summer. So most of the best berries are in the wet, muskeggy area, so don't forget to wear your boots. Something else you find in fall after the grass and fireweed kind of dies down is this is when you start to see lots of mushrooms and Coors Light boxes that have been hidden for all of summertime as they've been growing this entire time, but you just haven't been able to see them because of the grass and the fireweed. This is an Alaskan wild rose that we have transplanted to our flower garden. And while these typically don't grow on muskeg type soils, they usually grow kind of on higher, drier ground. They create these rose hips. And these things are just about the highest concentration of vitamin C you'll find anywhere. And so these are best collected after good frost. That's kind of when they become their best. We haven't had a really good frost yet. But you can make jellies out of them, you can make pies. We tend to just dry them and use them in tea. But they're easy to grow. They're easy to pick. I mean, apart from the thorns, obviously, you can see that it is a rose bush and it does have thorns. But the reward is great because of the high vitamin C content and the sweet flavor.